Good morning, good evening, wherever you are listening to this from or watching this from. Welcome to another episode of Real Talk. I hope you are all well, whether you're listening to me in your ears on a poddy walk this morning or whether you've actually got me on video for a change, then hi, I hope you've had an amazing weekend. Can we believe it's the 1st of December? I can't, I feel like I say this every single year, but every year it just gets worse and worse, as in like faster and faster. Like when I think about things that happened in February when I got engaged, and I'm like, how was that 10 months ago? Like that's just absolutely insane to me. But yeah, happy December the 1st, which obviously means that today you will hopefully have an advent calendar and you'll be opening your first door. Before I tell you what today's episode is going to be all about, I actually just want to kind of say, when it comes to advent calendars, that it's one little chocolate per day, ladies, and I really don't want you to feel like you have to track that chocolate. I never track my advent calendar chocolate. I haven't for years, and I will not be doing it in the future either. Like, it's a tiny chocolate, like, please enjoy it. So I just wanted to kind of start by saying that before we get into it, because today's episode is all about Christmas. So this episode is going to be absolutely perfect if you are somebody who absolutely loves Christmas, but when it comes to Christmas and it comes to December and you kind of think about like the Christmas markets and the buffets and the work dues, the family get-togethers, like all the food, all the drink, it causes you to kind of worry or stress or feel like really anxious because you're worried that all the progress that you've made so far, you're just going to lose it all in December or over Christmas. Actually, just going to bring my laptop up just in case like I miss anything that I want to go through today. But yeah, if you've ever felt guilty or stressed for wanting to kind of like enjoy yourself, or panicked that you will kind of like have to quote unquote start again in January, this is quite a normal feeling. It's something that I work through with my clients every single year, obviously being a nutrition and a mindset coach myself. And it's something that I used to struggle with as well. I remember going through my fat loss journey, and literally one Christmas Eve, I was honestly like so stressed because I know that we all have like different like family traditions. One of mine is that we all sit down on Christmas Eve rather, and we watch Muppets Christmas Carol, and we get like little nibbles, which unfortunately we've had to kind of like adjust for myself in recent years because of my endometriosis. Hence the hot water bottle. I'm just gonna pretend that you can't see that and they're all good. But yeah, so that's one of our family traditions. And I remember one year on Christmas Eve just really panicking because I think I'd lost, I can't remember like what it was exactly, but I'd lost a few kilos. I think like the month before or something like that. And I was so worried. I felt so stressed that I couldn't enjoy all these delicious foods around me at Christmas because I just felt like I was going to go backwards, or I felt like I was going to lose that progress or put the weight back on. And this is a pattern that not only, mindset wise have I experienced myself, but I work through these kind of thoughts, these kind of feelings every single Christmas with my clients. And so I thought, what a better time than December the 1st, sitting down with you guys and explaining to you how you can enjoy all of your festive favorites without actually feeling like you're going backwards or you're going to put weight back on and have to quote unquote start again in January. In this episode, I am literally going to break down exactly how you can enjoy all your favorite foods, all your favorite drinks without losing progress and without hitting the I fucked it spiral, the all or nothing spiral that a lot of ladies kind of like feel stuck in all year round. But primarily like December is a time where ladies kind of feel that are like, I've had this, so I might as well like XYZ. So how to avoid that spiral and how to not feel stressed and anxious, but actually how to feel calm and in control and confident this December and this Christmas. And this is the exact same approach that I teach inside of my Be Free coaching program to my clients, and it helps them stay in control, confident, and calm. The 3 things that I want you to feel over Christmas. But yeah, before we get started, just to kind of like elephant in the room, I have my hot water bottle on me right now because my cycles, guys, are just getting shorter, which is not ideal because those of you who know me, have worked with me, have been listening to my pod before. If not, hi, I'm Jodie. But I have endometriosis and I really struggle with a variation of different symptoms, but particularly like on my, when I'm actually menstruating. And today is one of those days, so you'll just have to bear with me. But we're here, we're showing up and ready to give you guys like so much value in this podcast episode. So before we get started, I would actually recommend that you go and grab yourselves a notepad and a pen really quickly. If you're on a walk, obviously you can kind of like just take note of whereabouts this is in the video. You can come back to these kind of like questions that I'm going to give you right now. But what we're going to do is we're going to start with some journaling. So I'm just going to give you a few questions to journal as to how you want to feel this Christmas. And I actually just want you to think about like how you really want to feel and not what you think is possible, like how you really want to feel this Christmas. So how you want to feel, what you want it to look like that kind of thing. I'm going to break down the 3 questions for you now, and actually I will pop them in the description for this podcast episode as well, so you can just actually go back to them and just find them really easy there. So the 3 questions are: what would a calm, confident experience this Christmas look like for me? What would a calm, confident version of me do differently this festive season in comparison to last year, the year before, etc.? And what brings me joy at Christmas that actually has nothing to do with food? During Christmas, like everything can feel a little bit mad, like a little bit chaotic sometimes, like with, like I say, like friend get-togethers, the work dues, the family get-togethers, like all that kind of thing. And actually journaling can be such like a supportive space for you. It's a fantastic way of kind of like talking things out, reflecting on how you're kind of like feeling, connecting with yourself, like all that kind of thing. And it can give you that opportunity in that time to just really sit down and connect with what you actually want. Because let's not beat around the bush, like, there's going to be things that you have coming up this December. Now, what I do inside my coaching, it's very personalized and very tailored to every individual, because I know that no cookie cutter plan is going to work, because my clients all have different lives. They have different lifestyles, different jobs, different families, like all of the things. And so it's really important to remember that your Christmas might not look like, Gemma's down the road or your work colleagues or whatever, and that is absolutely okay. So like your December might be absolutely jam-packed full of like different things, like Christmas markets and, like I say, like get-togethers, buffets. You might even be going out on Boxing Night, or maybe one of your traditions if you have this big Christmas Eve party, or there's New Year's as well. So what I really want to do today is kind of like break down how you can navigate Christmas in this like really calm way. Enjoy your favorite food and drink without feeling like you are going backwards. Like the past few Christmases, I have honestly, it's been one of my favorite days of the year, and that's because I put in the work. I worked on my mindset and my nutrition, and now I help clients do the same. So when it comes to the 1st of January, they don't feel that stress and that anxiousness and that complete worry that they're kind of like starting again. So I would really start by journaling these 3 questions. And like I say, if you want to come back to this, that is absolutely fine. But that is where I would start. Let's start by talking about all these different occasions and food and drinks and things that you probably have planned this Christmas that are already like stressing you out, right? Like I absolutely get it. And I just want to start by saying that the fear starts before even Christmas begins. Like we're the 1st of December, right? And I I speak with ladies on like a daily basis. I work with ladies inside of my coaching program, and I know that they're already on the 1st of December, they're already worrying about, they're already worrying about Christmas, like, and it hasn't even started yet. And one of the reasons that you might be worried about kind of like the quality street and the mince pies and the trifles and things right now is because you are labeling foods as good, quote unquote, good and bad foods. And by doing that, you're essentially, for those like quote unquote bad foods, like maybe like the mince pies, the quality street, like those kinds of foods, you're putting them in like a box that you in your mind tell yourself that you can't have. So when you have that food, particularly at Christmas, where there is more chocolate, more drink, more like this, that, and the other, when you have that food, you literally feel like you have done something naughty, like you have done something bad, and that creates that guilt and that shame kind of feelings. And guilt and shame, they're really strong, that really, really heavy feelings. And so when you feel, when you've kind of like had these foods that are quote unquote bad, even though logically we know that these foods are just less nutritious, like no good and bad food, we have more nutritious food. So that's going to be things like, Christmas dinner, like your white meat and the veg and this, that, and the other. Like we know that that is more nutritionally quote unquote good for us, and then those other foods are less nutritious for us. So I really want you, if you take anything away from this episode, it is to remove yourself away from calling foods good and bad. Like I'm just, even like things like, oh, I'm just gonna have a naughty treat, like no, 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 no. Because that is like literally you are connecting doing that thing with something naughty, something bad, and that is causing those feelings of guilt and shame and those just negative connotations towards those foods. And if you have that feeling that you've done something quote unquote bad by enjoying that food or by having it, you then feel like you need to kind of like punish yourself for doing that thing. And I'm going to talk about today kind of like the 80-20 rule that I myself, and it's part of my flexible approach when it comes to the nutrition side of my program. It's that 80-20 approach, and it is something that I'm going to dive in with you today. But first, I just want to go into that a little bit deeper in terms of like kind of like the guilt and the shame. So if you have, I don't know, like say you've had your Christmas dinner and you've gone up for seconds even, or maybe you've kind of like had that pudding, you feel like, oh, I've ruined it. So I might as well start again in January. And so you just continue to do more of that thing rather than just like, yep, I had that dinner, I enjoyed it. I had that pudding, I enjoyed it. Like, that's that. And you don't need to make it mean something about you. And that is actually the problem when it comes to kind of like having these foods, that rather than just accepting that we made a choice, what people tend to do is they make it mean something about them. Like, I'm a failure, like literally like coming from that place of identity, like I'm a failure, I can't ever stick to anything, I'm gonna be fat forever. Like all these horrible negative thoughts and emotions come up, and they're based on you rather than, okay, I made a choice, what choice can I now make moving into the rest of the day? And to be honest, when it comes to Christmas, like I honestly am so big on the, like none of my clients are going to be tracking Christmas. Like they're just not going to be tracking Christmas, because I've been there before, and I just know that it's one day. Honestly, it's one day. And I always say to my clients, one day, one meal, one night out is not going to make a difference. It's not going to lose your progress. Like, obviously, if you were going out like every single weekend, then that is going to have an effect. However, one day, and I literally posted a reel about this just the other day, it's not going to ruin your progress. What will is consistent habits, or inconsistently hitting your habits that you're kind of like meant to hit. So doing something consistently, like eating too much food, like whatever that thing might look like, that is actually what's going to cause you to gain fat, etc., etc. It's not going to be that one day or that one night. So to be honest, I would honestly recommend that Christmas Day, please take it off tracking. Do not track on Christmas Day. And it's all about being mindful and basically knowing that you can have these foods, you can enjoy the festivities, you can have the chocolate, you can have your Christmas dinner, but it doesn't mean that because you've had a chocolate and you've enjoyed it that you need to go and have another 20. If you want to go on to have another 20, fine. That's a choice that you're making on that day. And that's why I would recommend journaling, how you want to feel, what you want it to look like, because you are then in control of that day and Christmas in general, right? So it's important to remember, yeah, it's one day, but also, is it going to make you feel good by eating the whole box of Quality Street, or is it going to make you feel good by, I want you to enjoy Christmas, and Christmas is one day. And where a lot of ladies kind of quote unquote go wrong at Christmas is actually by feeling like December's like a fucking free for all. I'm not being funny, and that might sound really harsh, but it's not. If you're treating every single day of December like it's Christmas Day, and you're just eating all the mince pies in the office and the chocolates and not having proper meals, skipping breakfast, all that kind of thing, of course you're going to walk into January feeling like you're going to need to quote unquote start again on January the 1st, right? And I know I've gone off on a little bit of a tangent here, but Christmas can literally mean Christmas Day, Boxing Day, Christmas Eve, New Year's Eve, and the rest of the time, maybe you're not tracking, but you're being a bit more mindful. It's gonna look different for everybody. And again, it's really hard for me to sit here and I can't give you personalized advice, because I don't know how you want this Christmas to look, because I have clients who, like I say, have different lifestyles, different lives, and that's perfect and fine. And it's about having that conversation with them as to what they want Christmas to look like, what they want their progress to look like, how they want to feel this Christmas, all that kind of thing. Because I have some clients who are kind of they're content with enjoying a few days off completely, maybe gaining a little bit of fat over Christmas, but not the amount of fat that they used to in the past. I have clients who want to maintain this December, they're really happy to maintain this December, and they actually they're not fussed this December about losing fat. And I have clients who want to continue losing fat up until kind of the week of December, and then they are going to take that time off, and that's something that I advise and recommend. So it's just important to kind of preface that everybody is different, right? No cookie cutter thing. I know that there are other people in this space that will give you really rigid meal plans and this, that, and the other. But if that's the kind of thing that you're after, and you want to kind of lose as much weight as possible over Christmas, you're in the wrong space. This is not the podcast for you. So that's just that's just how it is. I've been at that place before where I was on the really rigid meal plan, and I have actually spoken about my journey in more depth on my last podcast episode, and then I think the very first one or two as well, about my journey. So I would really recommend that you give that a listen, so that you kind of come into this space with an understanding of not only am I an expert in this field in nutrition and mindset, but actually I've been there. So everything that I speak about, I fucking get you. I can't even tell you how much I understand where you are at right now. And there are different parts of your journey as well. You might be in a better space than you were kind of 5 years ago, but that doesn't mean you are where you want to be yet. And that's okay. Yeah, that's okay. And I understand what it's like to feel fucking stressed and worried and just thinking oh my God, I'm going to put all these pounds on over Christmas. I get it. And I'm here to tell you that that is not the case. And I can 100% help you with that. And just to kind of say as well that if you did want help on a deeper level, and you're okay, this woman is really speaking to me right now, I am stressed, I am worried, I want to enjoy all these kind of foods, but I also want to feel supported and not feel like I'm going to ruin everything over Christmas, please just send me a message. You can message me on Instagram at jodiebnutrition, or I've linked my website as well, as to how you can obviously get in touch with me and inquire about coaching and all that kind of thing. Because if this is the way that you are feeling, being from a space of having struggled with that before, but actually helping clients like move through this on like a day-to-day basis. I don't want you to feel like you're alone and you haven't got this, because I can be that person to obviously like help you and support you and guide you, not just this time of year, but coming into January and then the months after that as well. But the Be Free coaching method, it's a flexible approach and a strategy to help you navigate all these different festive activities and occasions with calm and confidence. Sorry, I had to take a pause there because, yeah, I'm hurting. Anyway, so moving on to what I was talking about before, which was recommending the 80-20 approach. Now, the 80-20 approach is essentially giving you that flexibility to enjoy the quote unquote treats, the less kind of like nutritious foods over Christmas, whilst still giving your body the things that it needs, the things that it actually deserves, right? So 80%, and maybe it'll look more like 70% over Christmas, like that's fine. But that kind of like 70-80%, you want to be aiming for whole, nutritious foods that make your body feel good, right? And I'm talking about high protein, I'm talking about high fiber, like lots of color, like lots of water, the things that like your body thrives off and actually needs from like a nutritional like perspective. And that 20-30% is what I call, and what I talk to my clients about, quote unquote soul foods. So those foods that make you happy. And I'm talking about your Freddo, your Quality Street, your packet of crisps, your sausage rolls, I don't know, like pigs in blankets, like whatever it might be. You want to give yourself that 20-30% to enjoy those foods in moderation. Because if you don't enjoy any of those foods, and this is the problem where ladies like stick to these really rigid meal plans and programs and cut out everything, you cannot live a life like that. Like, you will never be able to sustain that long term. So what happens is after a few days, maybe even a couple of weeks, you literally want that food so badly that you end up overeating on that food, binging on that food, and that spiral kind of like comes up again, and then you quote unquote start again the next day, right? So by incorporating this like 20-30% of like less, not bad, less nutritious foods, and the 80% or 70 to 80 maybe at Christmas time, more nutritious foods, you'll be able to actually feel good, but actually enjoy all of these different foods at Christmas and not ruin progress, okay? Because a few snacks over Christmas does not and will not ruin your progress. Like I said before, it's the habits that you repeat that matter. And this approach, this flexible approach, and it's done in like a really strategic way, but this approach is exactly how I have lost 20 kilos of body fat and maintained it. And that's what's important here. I think that I just really want to kind of like highlight the maintaining part. And it's exactly the same approach that my clients take with me as well. It's like, yeah, you might be able to lose the weight. You might be able to do this detox tea or Slim and World and like lose the weight. But the amount of ladies that I speak to that have lost 10K and then put 20 back on is actually insane. So trust me when I say that when you follow like my approach, when you follow this flexible approach, that's how you'll be able to lose kilos of fat and actually maintain it, right? And I still honestly, I have a little bit of chocolate most days, if not every single day, because I love it. It makes me happy. But I also have a high fiber diet, a high protein diet. I have lots of color on my plate, right? Like, it is literally all about balance. But I'll say as well that, like, I think I'm speaking about December in general here. Like, when it comes to like Christmas Day, I honestly want you to know that, like, if you have like a lot more food on Christmas Day, it's honestly fine. It's one day of the year, and it is honestly not going to make a difference to your progress. Like, I promise you that. Like, you literally can't put fat on like that overnight. Not in the way that you think you can. In actual factual terms, you actually need to eat 7,000 calories, and that's insane, right? 7,000 calories over your maintenance. So let's say that your maintenance calories are 2,000 calories, for argument's sake. You would need to have consumed 9,000 calories just to put on 1 pound of fat. Like, sorry, not 1 pound of fat, 1 kilo of fat. So please, for the love of God, do not get in the scales the next day or the next couple of days after Christmas. Just fucking enjoy it. Put the scales away. Trust me on this, because when you get on the scales and you see that you've gained 3 kilos, you will freak out. It'll ruin your Christmas. You won't be able to enjoy the next few days going up to New Year's Eve, like, etc. And what you will see on that scale, from, like, I've literally just said, like, you would have to have had like 9,000 calories to put on 1 kilo. So you haven't gained 3 kilos of fat. You are holding onto water. Like, your body is retaining water from more carbs, more salt, maybe moving a little bit less, eating more food that literally hasn't digested yet, not even to think about like where you might be like in your cycle. There are so many like different things that affect the scales, and it's so important to remember body fat, body weight, two different things. So that's another thing I would suggest as well, is to stay off the scales for a good few days. You do not need to go in them. It's not going to make you feel good. It's not going to bring up any like positive thoughts about yourself. And you are probably going to feel a bit bloated and a bit kind of like heavy the days after Christmas. It's normal. You will have had probably like a big Christmas dinner, some chocolates, things that you maybe don't normally have, and that's okay. So what I want you to do today is, and over Christmas, but like just to do one thing today, is I want you to choose one festive food or like one snack. So that could be, I don't know, like a sausage roll at work or like a mince pie or something. And I just want you to give yourself permission to have it. And if you're tracking right now, track it, eat it, move on. If you're not, I still want you to give yourself that permission to have that, especially if you're in a space right now where you feel like you can't have that one thing without spiraling. Like, have it. Journal about it if you need to or want to, like how it made you feel like all of the things. But just have that one snack. Give yourself permission to have it, and know that like it's okay. It was in my 20 to 30% of like less nutritious foods, and I've had it and I'm okay. Because restricting those foods, like I'm not having, I don't know, like I'm not having like X till January or like whatever, it will give food that control and have like more power over you, when we want it to be the other way around. We want you to be in control of your choices, your nutrition, your like XYZ. We don't want food to have the control over you, and that's what's happening right now. So when you allow it, you enjoy it, and you stop obsessing over it, that's what's going to stop that restrict binge kind of cycle that you might actually be stuck in right now. Also, I'm quite passionate about this because it's something that's come up for me quite a lot in the past, and it's definitely come up for clients that have worked with me in the past and are working with me right now, is that pressure. And I mentioned this, I think, briefly right at the beginning of the episode. And the reason I mentioned it is because pressure from family, from friends, tends to come up quite a lot at Christmas time, right? Like, I don't know, like your nan's made something especially, and it's like, oh, you're not gonna have that. Oh, you're not gonna have another one. I made them especially for you. Or you're going out on like Boxing Night, and it's like, oh, you're not going yet, are you? Come on, stay for another one. There's just so much pressure around Christmas, like it's absolutely insane. So I just wanted to kind of go over like the art of saying no. And with this, I don't mean saying no to absolutely everything, like absolutely fucking not. You do not need to be saying no to everything. However, what we want to do is for you to only to say yes the things that you want, and yes that things that align with you. Because actually, saying no can be really difficult. Like, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like it's not difficult. It's something I had to move through. But with anything, the first time is always the hardest, and then it'll get easier and easier and easier. And actually, it's so powerful. It is so powerful saying no and knowing that you've made a choice that actually aligns with you and you feel good. Because if you say yes to that thing, you won't feel good about it, because those probably like feelings of like guilt and all those kind of things you're trying to like move through right now, like it won't feel good because essentially you will have felt pressured to do that thing when you didn't even feel like it was a choice that you even made, but you did make it because you kind of you were subjected to that pressure. So what you want to do is, again, like journaling will be helpful here because it will enable you to kind of really understand what you want, like what you want this December, what you want this Christmas, what you want it to look like all of the things, and really just help you understand what kind of things like you do want to say yes to, what kind of things you want to say no to. So, for example, you might want to say no to having a Greg's at work with Sandra, who you don't really get on with, right? Sorry, Sandra. But a yes choice might be going and having a couple of drinks on Christmas Eve with your best mate. That's going to be a yes, right? So you really just want to like kind of have a look at that and what feels good for you. Like, you do not need to say yes to every drink or every meal if it doesn't align with your energy or your goals. It's okay. And to remember as well, from a mindset perspective, if somebody has an opinion about you saying no to something, it actually says absolutely nothing about you. It says nothing about you and it says everything about them. And again, just from that perspective, it's because if they were in your shoes, they couldn't imagine themselves doing that thing. So they're actually judging themselves. Like, it's actually crazy to think of it like that, but it's the same as like, say if I were to go out with my phone and I was doing like a talking head on the street and people were to look over and like fucking judge me and be like, oh my God, like that's only because they couldn't imagine themselves doing that thing, and they would feel like fear and judgment and embarrassment and like all of the things if they were doing that thing. And from doing mindset work that I did with my coach, that was so empowering because like fucking hell, like it actually means nothing about me. It means everything about them. That's amazing. So it's just to remember that as well. And that's probably something that will help you kind of like through it, and just thinking like, oh, well, okay. And just knowing that it actually doesn't mean anything about you. It means something about them. But obviously, many women don't want to, disappoint friends and family and things like that. But it is that kind of classic people pleasing. So I want you to use these reflective questions. And again, I'm going to pop these into the description for you so you can kind of like go back and journal these. How do I want to feel after the work Christmas party? Like, how do I want to feel after XYZ, like whatever that social occasion is for you? Which events do I genuinely want to enjoy? Do I genuinely want to go to? And what choices will support me this week with everything else going on, right? Because there might be certain occasions where you might want to like choose a soft drink over a mulled wine, or one pudding instead of two, or one party instead of every party. But then there might be choices where you do want to choose like to have that Yule log with cream on Christmas Day. Do you know what I mean? Or having that trifle that your friend like made for you and all you girlies are getting together and you're having trifle and pizza, like whatever that thing looks like, right? And it's really, really important to know that this is not selfishness. You're supporting yourself. And also, if it is you being a little bit selfish and think of you like, who cares? You are fucking important. And there are not enough ladies that are sort of like just prioritizing themselves. I speak to so many women on a daily basis that literally like prioritize others. And it's like when they come to me, they're in a space where they're like, I've been looking after everybody else like for so long, and now I just want to look after me. And I actually love that. I think it's so empowering. I love it. But yeah, when it comes to drinks, again, you can be intentional with this. Like if it's a once in a year moment, like Christmas dinner, Boxing Day buffet, please just let yourself just like enjoy it fully. Like, you do not need to be saying no to drinks that you actually want on Christmas Day. However, it doesn't mean that you need to be drinking excessively every single day of December either. Do you see what I mean? It's like choosing those days that you want to maybe look a little bit different, and then finding ways that like other days of December can just look the way that aligns with you. Do you know what I mean? So it's about kind of like finding what is kind of like working or what's going to work for you. But what a lot of ladies do, like I said, is just kind of think that December's a fucking free for all, and they can just do whatever they want, and then like there's going to be no consequence. There are going to be consequences of that. But even when it comes to like Christmas dinner, I and this is something that I'm going into in my Christmas challenge that has kicked off today, by the way. So, and actually before I continue, like it's not too late to come into that. Like it is Monday. Like I've decided to actually, rather than close it yesterday, to close it today. Because if you join today, then you're still going to be able to join in like every single challenge of the 12 days. But already it is such a beautiful space. It's such a beautiful space. Like so far the ladies have just like introduced themselves and like what they're hoping to get out of it and where they're based and things. And honestly, this challenge is going to go into everything that I've been speaking about, but like on a deeper level. Like I'm going to be sending in voice notes, videos, and the whole point of the challenge is actually got nothing to do with fat loss. It has nothing to do with fat loss and everything to do with your mindset and your relationship with food and how you actually want to feel this Christmas, this December. We're going to go into like the art of saying no and the all or nothing spiral. We're going to go into like guilt and your hunger hormones. Like we're going to go into so many different things and how to actually handle these social like situations and occasions and things as well. So if you do want to join, all you need to do is message me the word Xmas on Instagram, or if you find me on Instagram at Jodie B Nutrition, and just go to the link in my bio. The sign up link's in there as well. Like literally, it's so simple. All you need to do is pop your name, literally 2 or 3 details, and then I will literally just get in touch with you and add you to the WhatsApp group. So just to kind of like mention that like right here and now. But yeah, one of the things that we're going to go into, especially with like eating, is actually just slowing down and paying attention to your fullness cues. I mean, your hunger cues, yes, but your fullness cues as well. There are so many people that after like a long day at work, they come in, they scroll on TikTok or they put the telly on and like they eat their food whilst they're watching something. And like it's common, but you are not able then to just like really pay attention to the food, how it tastes, how full you are, how you're feeling, like all of the things. So that would be my second like big takeaway from today, is to like have a meal, put your phone down, turn the telly off, put your iPad away, and just sit with your partner or with your family. Like I would just recommend this anyway, personally, because it's something that I've been doing more recently. Like I'm not gonna sit here and say like I've been doing like, no, but it is something that I've been more conscious of recently, and slowing down and giving your body and your mind that opportunity to just like sit and enjoy that food. That's going to help as well. But yeah, when it comes to Christmas, the one thing that I do say every year, and it's the same when my clients like go on holiday, like I help them navigate Christmas and holidays and like going abroad and things like that. But please remember, it is one time of year. Memories over macros, always. The goal isn't a perfect Christmas. I do not, like, if you know me, if you follow me, if you've listened to my pod before, like, you will know that I do not believe in perfection. I believe in balance and consistency. And I want you to have this calm Christmas without the whole, like, fuck it, I've ruined it moment. I don't want that for you. Like, I want you to feel calm and confident and in control this Christmas. And I know it's possible for you when you're in the right space. And if like a spiral does happen, or you feel like uncomfortably like full after like a meal or something, it's how you move from that as well, because you can't control something that's in the past as much as maybe sometimes we'd like to. You can't. You can't control something that's happened, something that's in this, I can't even speak, something that's in the past. But what you can control is now, today, this afternoon, tomorrow, next week, right? You can control that. So if that has happened, what's a good choice that I can now make today? Quote unquote good, right? What's a choice that I can make today that's going to align with me, that's going to make me feel like all these positive things? Like rather than spiraling, just pause and think about how can you move through that? Do you want to continue like spiraling, or do you just want to pause for a minute and think about how you want to feel on Boxing Day? You know, does this choice align with the Christmas or the Boxing Day that I actually want to have? Because you can build that trust and you can enjoy Christmas without losing control. But yeah, like I say, Christmas, it's meant to be enjoyed, right? Like the food, the drinks, the tradition, the memories. Like you are not, like I said before, you're not going to gain a few kilos just from Christmas Day. And trust me, it's a conversation that I have with my clients every single year. And I'm really passionate about it because it's something I used to struggle with and now know that it's something that you don't need to struggle with. And I want to help you with that. Progress is kept through consistency and mindset across the month. And you can enjoy foods and still feel proud of yourself going into January. You can feel good going into January without feeling like you're needing to quote unquote start again. Enjoying your festive foods and drink and enjoying Christmas can mean no guilt and it can mean no weight gain. It just depends what you want your Christmas to look like. But it's not about willpower. It's not about willpower. It's about practicing calm, flexible choices and having a strategy that actually helps you navigate all of these festive occasions with that calmness and confidence. And like I say, if you want that support and you want to enjoy food and drink this festive season, like this time of year, today is the last chance to come into my 12 days of Christmas. Cute, I know. 12 days of Christmas free challenge. It's completely free. The value is honestly going to be absolutely insane. So if you want to get involved, like I said before, just link in my bio on Instagram. I've obviously popped my details and everything in the description, or just message me. But you can overcome Christmas guilt, breaking the all or nothing cycle, and actually enjoying festive food and drink without feeling like you are going backwards or feeling like you have ruined all your progress. I honestly really hope that you enjoyed this episode, guys. I'm more than happy to go through any questions that you have. Just send me a message on JodyB, on at JodyB Nutrition on Instagram. I love having conversations with you guys, and those of you who have messaged me off the back of other podcast episodes, I love it. I really love connecting with you and, just having conversations and being able to help you in this space. So any questions, just let me know, and I hope you have an amazing week, guys.